Hey, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 19th of December, 2023. So, yep, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, yep, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, guys. Yep. So, yep, feel free. Yep, I believe you can find something useful here. So, now then, let's jump into the charts. The first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So, yes, I mean, we are seeing Nikkei pushing nicely to the upside. And the reason why? Because, yes, BoJ came out this morning and they decided to keep their interest rates the same, so at minus 0.1%. So yeah, of course, and there were no talks about any planned future planned rate hikes or something like that. So basically, yes, that all this is working out positively for Nikkei. And from the technical perspective, we're seeing also a nice good push here above this downside line and above this one right here. So yes, we're also clearing my 33,200 zone, which I've talked about previously. Now, all is good. All is okay here, I would say. So yes, I mean, I can't add anything else apart from the fact that for now I'm leaning towards the upside on this one, as long as we remain above the 33,200 zone in order for me to start looking at some lower levels. Well, yes, certainly I've previously talked about the 32,000 kind of 480 zone right here, or in general the 500 territory, because at the same time on a break of that we could also drop below the 100-day EMA. But I think that it's best right now also to keep an eye on this upside line, just in case. If we do break that one, we potentially could also break the 50-day EMA. This could attract more sellers into the game. China 50. China 50 is also quite nice, I would say. It did reverse back up a little bit here. However, it remains below the 11,158 territory, the one that I kept on talking about. And that is the lowest point of 2022. So as long as we remain below that area, we will continue targeting the downside. That's pretty much straightforward. I mean, I'm not really adding anything else here because the same analysis is still valid. ASX 200, so there we go, continues to rally, continues to push higher, and I talked about this yesterday. I said that keep your eyes on that 74 territory. If we do pop above it, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, potentially attracting more buyers and possibly leading the index towards the current highest point of this year, near the 7,530 zone. Let's round it up here a little bit. So yeah, that's going to be my next target. Yes, I mean, at the moment, I would say everything's looking quite nice here and so far according to the plan. So I cannot say anything else, guys. I mean, apart from that, it's working out. And if we do clear the 7,530 zone, of course, we will start looking at some other levels, like, for example, right here, the 7,600 zone, which is the highest point of 2022. Good potential target, but let's go slowly on this. Just bear with me one moment, guys. I need to kind of adjust my aircon here a little bit. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, sorry about that. Just needed to adjust my aircon a little bit. So yeah, to get a nice pleasant temperature here in our studio. So Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay, look, yesterday we had like let's say a relatively decent day. I mean, it did kind of push higher at one point, but then kind of it drifted back down. And look, the best performer yesterday was Nasdaq. Guess which one was the worst performer? Of course, Dow. It's like they have these. They're kind of on a rota. They have a shift. One day performs better one index, the other day, the other one. So. So look, the S&P was also good, but first of all about the Dow. Dow is stuck here at the moment. In general, I talked about this and I said that look, I'm still targeting that 38,000 mark, which I really like. And the moment I'm really curious if we're going to get that test of that 38,000 zone in a way. This week, I mean, look, so far this week we have a bit of a correction here on the futures, but I'm not really giving up on the bulls yet, to be honest, because again, the S&P needs to go into all-time highs, but I'll jump into that one in a bit. So yes, for now, the same game plan actually is valid. In terms of the downside, now that's the only thing that I'm gonna be carefully watching. So because at the moment I don't really know where exactly from where the reversal could start. I mean, let's say if we do look at the area here, let's say from this reversal at the end of October, all the way to the high, which we have already here, the all-time high. We do have the 23.6 here as a decent area of as a good area of support potentially. However, now this is where I want to, because I don't know where this reversal could come from. I mean, will it come from here or maybe a little bit higher? But let's say if we do believe in the beautiful numbers and when the stars align together and all that stuff, if we do believe in all that, then in that case, I would draw the Fibonacci all the way here and drag my 23.6 all the way to this little hurdle. And this little hurdle is the previous all-time high, which was reached in January 2022. So why not to align the 23.6? And we have seen this happening in the past. So this is not coming from just randomly somewhere. No, sometimes it does happen. We just kind of, and this is me trying to be maybe ahead of my game here. So if that's the case, then we do see that still some room for some higher levels. And let's say the idea here is actually to aim for the 38,200 zone. Well, again, maybe I'm a little bit too ambitious, right? I mean, but if we do like this symbolism, or when the stars when the stars aligned all together, then yes, I mean, this is what I would put here on the chart. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that one for now. And basically also look, the 38.2 is also sitting very nicely near this key support zone. So we do have some kind of grounds, for that. So look, this is technical analysis. This is what people do and people look at. And the reason why people look at, or I do look at some stuff like that, is because the market is still driven by people. We do like these like coincidental beautiful numbers and stuff like that, right? Even let's say if you're in algos, I mean, if you think that okay, look, the majority now are algos, yes, but they're still kind of done by people, and you still eventually get the the same repetition, the same patterns and stuff like that. So look, at the moment I would say let's keep an eye on this. I'm not really saying that I'm getting bearish. For me, at this point, to get bearish, maybe, just maybe, I would like to see a drop somewhere below this territory, the 37,520 zone, something like that. That's Friday's low. If we do fall below this, then yes, I will go lower. But at the moment, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more to the upside still. Just a quick good morning in the chat room. Very quickly, good morning, everyone. Yes, there we go. S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is looking quite nice here as well. And we're still on track to, and I'm talking about the futures, by the way, so we're on track to reaching the all-time high. To be honest, today could be a nice day for that. Of course, we don't have much information coming out from the U.S. We only have the building permits. Today, the main focus will fall on the EU final CPIs and the Canadian final CPIs. So yes, tomorrow could be a little bit more interesting day for the U.S. We do have existing home sales together with the CB consumer confidence numbers. Thursday will be the final GDP readings in Philadelphia Fed manufacturing from the U.S. So, and then, of course, Friday, the Fed's beloved PCE readings will be coming out. So, if, let's say, those are, let's say, prepared to maybe shift the market a little bit, those numbers, let's say, before going into the holiday break, then we could see an up move up until those numbers. However, be very careful here. For example, if we don't see the up move, we start seeing just kind of maybe a little bit of a small correction lower, then maybe actually the numbers will come out something in favor of the stock market, and we could see some rallies here. So just interpret, take everything with a pinch of salt, and just be very careful, cautious in general, monitor, because like I said, if you see that the main events, let's say the main market drivers, the main market driving economic data is coming out, let's say on Thursday and Friday, then keep monitoring what's happening during like a few days before that. And that might help you as well, because if we suddenly see, strong up moves, then maybe actually the numbers will, push it down a little bit. So just, yeah, just keep that in mind. Just like I said, from personal observations. So yeah, that's the situation with the S&P 500 here, still aiming for that all-time high. I think it needs to do that. I think everybody did it on the futures. Dow did it, NASDAQ did it. So, S&P, yeah, has to do it as well. So let's see if that's going to work out. But yeah, look, for now, I want to get rid of this extension. I think it's no longer needed. I think it's better to keep this on the chart. So look, on the NASDAQ, I talked about this potential idea of head and shoulders pattern, which is quite okay. I would say not bad, but look, for now, it's just kind of not there yet. We're not seeing that reversal. I can only continue pulling the head higher and higher. So, but I don't see the reversal yet. So, however, I will consider that one eventually when, let's say, I see some sort of a reversal here at some point. So maybe I'll keep it somewhere here. But yeah, in general, look, the psychological 17,000 mark on the futures here is kind of working out. So I mean, we could still see a nice good test of it. So let's see if we can reach that, if we can overshoot that, and let's see if we can kind of do something about it. Maybe we'll capture that short eventually, but at the moment I'm still leaning a little bit more towards the upside on this one as well, just because the S&P needs to go a little bit higher still. Not much, but still a little bit higher. So it might drag other indices too. And look, in general, the tendency kind of how it goes is like that. If the Dow's at there, it's at its extremes, then the Nasdaq it's at its lower. The S&P it seems to be like always somewhere in between the Dow and the Nasdaq. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. So sometimes you can sometimes you can actually even think of S&P as the average between the Dow and the Nasdaq. But okay, look, it's a false theory. I mean, don't just kind of follow it. It's just it seems like that. It always looks like that. Anyway, so yeah, the German index DAX, and there we go. Yesterday we had a nice little correction lower. That's fine. in general, I would say we are at a nice spot here. We are correcting lower. We are drifting to the downside. And my question now is, can we see a nice rebound from this upside line? Well, this is the question actually, because if we draw the upside line this way, then we still have a bit of room. If we draw the upside line that way, then we are near the upside line. So basically, the room for interpretation here is massive. So if you like this one still, so you can keep an eye on this one, on this upside line here, drawn from the low of the 27th of October, and where it's capturing this low, the low of the 10th of November, not the low of the 28th of November. If that gets broken, then yes, certainly more sellers here could join in. But look, I talked about this. I talked about this yesterday. I said that if we do fall below this 16,866 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, potentially more sellers here could join in. But again, we would also break this upside line, so maybe everything would align nicely. So maybe actually I could keep an eye on this one, just capturing this low of the 28th of November. Maybe that could play out nicely here. So if it breaks, then yes, lower levels could be met. The FTSE 100. The FTSE 100 is yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, and it's how to say it, it's still kind of floating around there somewhere. Look, as I said to you, that my upside scenario now will be from around here, from on a break of this 7,724.34 levels. Now, in terms of the downside, I need to break below this territory again, 7,535 or 36, which coincides, let's say, with all the EMAs on my daily chart, and that could be seen as a nice little bearish indication. All this zone right here, I really don't like it. It's something that I really wanna stay away from. Stay away from. Stick away. The stick away doesn't make sense. Stay away. Stay away. Yes. So, and of course, I'm keeping an eye on Wednesday's numbers. Tomorrow we get the CPIs from UK, and that's something to keep in mind, guys. Friday we'll get the GEP numbers from UK. So basically, tomorrow and Friday are the main days kind of for the FTSE 100 in terms of economic data. In terms of economic data and releases. The US dollar index. So we're kind of stuck here, and I'm not really, I'm not really gonna improvise and do anything else apart from saying the same thing, that if we want to go lower, a drop below the 101.5560 territory here is required. For a push higher, a break of this downside line is needed. That's it. I know we're missing on a lot of territory here. Maybe some of you might say, but hey, what about this here? What about this push above the 102.38 zone? If we can clear that one, if we can jump back above it, then my next target will be this downside line drawn from the high of the 1st of November. So in a way, we could consider a larger correction to the upside if we do push above the 102.38 zone right there, and then we'll go from there. Gold, jumping into gold, guys. Okay, the same analysis is valid. Look, I mean, I talked about the Fibonacci's that we've beautifully hit those levels. So the 38.2, that's where we got a hold up. So that's why my upside scenario is from around here, from around this this 38.2 level. For downside, a drop below the 2010 territory could be useful. However, I will start looking at some lower levels already from around this 2013, which is around that 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci, and then we will aim for the 1973 territory first, which is around the 100-day EMA, my 100-day EMA here on the daily chart, and then so on and so on. Maybe we'll go for that 200-day EMA as well. But again, I need to see the commodity getting out of this little territory right there. Silver. Silver is Silver is looking quite nice here. Yes, the same story. I need to see that one getting out of this area between the 38.2 and the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. So if we do fall below the 38.2, then yes, I will consider a move lower. If we do push above the 50% retracement, above this 50% level, then yes, I will aim for that 61.8%, and then yes, we'll go from there. So yeah, that's my game plan. And I'm really waiting for that those breakouts here. Oil. Oil did push nicely above the 72.38 zone, so that's great. We almost went and tested the upper side of the falling channel, which is also kind of in line with the expectations here. But now the question is, look, we had a strong push, but then we had a strong push back down. But we still remained above the 72.38 zone. So in a way, I'm still going to aim once again for the upper side of the falling channel. If that gets broken, then yes, I will go higher. If we do get a drop below the 69.70 territory right here, then yes, I will consider a move lower. I will consider a move towards my level, which I've talked about previously, and that's this one, the upside, this kind of a relatively flat-ish upside line drawn from the low of the 16th of August. Sorry, not the 16th of August, the lowest point of August of 2021. So strong area of support, and look, we still have a chance to drift there. But again, a break of this falling channel is required, and yeah, at the moment, it's a difficult one. Difficult one. I'm bearish on this one, but I need the drop back below the 69.70 territory in order to get comfortable with the downside. Natural gas. There we go. Beautiful test of this downside line, and this is what we're seeing right now. This is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. I said that, look, we might hit this downside line, and if it holds, a bit of a retracement back down here could be possible. Now we're seeing that right now, and if we do kind of go and test the 2.42 territory here, if it provides good support, we could see a nice rebound and a move back up. However, if you're looking for maybe a little bit something more reassuring, then a push above the 2.6 zone here is needed, so that could attract a few more buyers actually. So yes, that's what I'm gonna keep an eye on here. But first, of course, I'm keeping an eye on this potential idea, which I considered. So let's say if we do drop lower, but we let's say eventually remain above this hurdle, we could we could see a false breakout. That's fine as well. But if we do drop and stay below this, I will take a neutral stand, because my downside scenario is coming from here, from around this 2.24 zone, something like that, near the lowest point of December, and then we'll go from there. Bitcoin, let's jump into a few cryptos. There we go. Bitcoin's pushing back up, or at least showing us willingness to go back up. However, we can see that the 43,100 territory, I spoke about this level before. This is, by the way, just to let you know, this is the high of the 21st of April of 2022. So far, this barrier is providing good support, as you can see, and resistance. And you can see the same thing happening right now. So it's providing good resistance. To be honest, as long as we remain below this hurdle, below that 43.10 zone, 43,100 zone, then yes, I will continue targeting this upside line drawn from the low of the 14th of November. Ethereum, beautiful rebound here, back up. Yes, push higher. However, However, we are stuck in between these two trend lines. So, in other words, if you're looking for some higher levels, at least a break of this downside line is required, not to mention a push above the 2,300 zone, which I've talked about previously. For the downside, well, this is the thing, because we have a bunch of upside lines here, so a break of this upside line would be needed, and also a drop below the below this hurdle, this 2,142 could be nice as well, just for that extra confirmation. And then we'll go from there. Ripple. So this one's stuck. This one's not really doing much. And to be honest, I mean, just observing the price action. Look, I want to get rid of some of the levels here. I think I need to redraw a few things. I'll mark this high, the high of the 15th of December. Near the 0.6440, and in a way, at the moment, there is actually a chance for a decline, because look, we fell back below the 50-day EMA. Yes, we were still above the 100 and the 200, but we were above all those recently, and now we kind of slid back, back down. And yesterday we showed that we want to go a little bit lower. So in a way we stayed below the 50-day EMA. So that's why I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside here on Ripple. Litecoin. Yesterday we had a penetration of the lower side of the rising channel, but we stayed above it. So in general, I would say that I'm gonna be looking at some higher levels as long as we remain above the lower side of the rising channel. But if we, to be honest, at the moment, I mean, it seems like we're flirting with this lower side of the rising channel. If we do break it eventually, then yes, I will go lower. I will go to the downside, and then we'll take it from there. Now, for now, yes, like I said, for now, that's the game plan. And if we do break the lower side of the rising channel, then I will go lower. Dogecoin here is also drifting to the downside. A few levels have to be removed. I think this one is no longer needed. We can actually mark something else here. For example, like the high of the 15th of December near the 0.0989 level. Now, in terms of the, let's say, in terms of lower levels, well, to be honest, I'm leaning towards those at the moment, because at the moment we're trading below this downside line drawn from the high of the 11th of December. So yes, my next target here will be here. Basically, I'm aiming for this upside line. As long as we stay below this downside line, I'm aiming for this 50-day EMA here on our daily chart, on my daily chart here, together with this upside line drawn from the low of the 19th of October. It's a little bit on the tentative side, this line, but still could be a nice good target for the upside. I would need to see a push back above this downside line, of course, that's first, and then above the 0.0989 level, and then we will go from there, guys. We will then aim, let me just grab a few lines here. Let me just recycle this one. Always recycle, guys. So yes, I mean, this is what I'm going to be aiming for after the current highest point of December. Let's jump into Forex, guys, very quickly. So yeah, there we go. Forex, AUDUSD, still bouncing above this 0.6690 territory. So that's great. In a way, I said to you before that as long as we stay above this territory, then yes, I will continue slowly aiming to the upside. However, if we start dropping back below the 0.6690 territory right here, then yes, I will consider a move lower. AUDNZD. This one is one of my favorite ones, and look at this. I mean, it seems to me like it's preparing for a breakout. It's preparing for a breakout to the upside, and yes, if we do clear this downside line and we push above the 200-day EMA, basically above all of my EMAs here on the daily chart, then yes, great, more buyers here could join in, and we could target this very nice attractive area of resistance, which has been tested before, but we're struggling not to break it, but we're struggling to stay above it. So that's why at the moment I am watching this very carefully, and yes, I would say this downside line is something to be watched, and if we do break it together with all of the EMAs, then yes, I will go further north. AUDCAD, so just a quick update. Yesterday I talked about this one as well. I just wanted to, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but basically because we do have some data coming out today from Canada. So, yep, keep your eyes on that. This might impact the pair. And yeah, at the moment, look, I mean, the moment with the Canadian CPIs, the headline where there's no forecast on the core ones, but the headline ones are expected to drop actually. So that's going to be quite interesting to see if those do drop. If they come out lower than the forecast, for example, then we could see kind of some weakness in the Canadian dollar, and we could see this pair, for example, drifting further north. So yeah, if you're looking for some higher levels, then certainly wait for a break at least above the 0.9043 to 61 zone, somewhere around here. And if we do break above the latter one, the 0.9061, then a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. NZDCHF, this one I like. I like it because it continues to flirt with that 200-day EMA. So this highlighted zone, look, I still have it in the chart, although it's kind of already maybe irrelevant a little bit. I think that it's better to reuse it for something else. First of all, we will reuse these lines here, and I will mark the yesterday's high near the 0.5428 zone, something like that. And in a way, if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, a break of that territory above the 200-day EMA is needed. So basically, we're kind of stuck in a box right now here. So yes, I mean, this is quite interesting, I would say. Until we remain inside the box, then yes, of course, we could move sideways. First of all, this barrier needs to go. We can mark the high of November, the highest point of November, near the 0.5440. Also good potential barrier to consider, and if that gets cleared, then yes, certainly I will start aiming for some higher levels like this, where my next target will be the highest point of September and near the 0.5511 zone. Why there's two levels here? Is there two lines? Yes, there were two lines. So that's the game plan for me right now on this pair on NZDCHF. Very good kind of potential breakout scenario here. Let's see if that's going to eventually happen or not. For the downside, I need to see a drop actually below the 0.5350 zone, somewhere around here, and then we could go a little bit lower. NZDJPY. NZDJPY is pushing nicely towards this barrier. Look, you can see the weakness kicking in into the Japanese yen. So it's not really working out well. However, I mean, it should have done the opposite. No, yeah, actually, no, it's all correct. I mean, we have a stronger, no, it's all correct. Nikkei is stronger, Japanese yen is weaker. That's what we're seeing here right now against the New Zealand dollar. Some weakness in the yen. So we needed to see an increase in the rates in order to support the Japanese yen. So yes, we're pushing back up here. At the moment, this idea seems like it could work out. What I talked about, I said that if we do push above the 89.66 territory, then yes, I'll go higher. Yep, so far so good. I mean, let's see if we can break this one. Now, my other problem, I'm not rushing into things. Why? Because I don't want this to end up being as a range. If this is going to end up being as a range here, then a downside scenario could be possible. Why? Because the prevailing trend was to the downside before entering the range, and then, you know, this could break out lower. So that's why, according to all the TA rules, that's the case. That could be the scenario. USDJPY, guys, there we go, pushing back up nicely. Of course, yes, weaker yen, pushing back to this territory. And look, I talked about this. I said to you that all this zone right here is something of a neutral one for me. I'm not really touching it. This is way too much. So yeah, I would say at the moment I'm just gonna observe the observe the price action here. If we do break the downside line, then yes, great. I will get a little bit more excited with the upside, especially if we do climb above the 200-day EMA as well. For the downside, you see a drop below the 141.55 territory right here, and then we'll go from there. USD CAD. Okay, so USD CAD. Now, this one is still bouncing above the 1.3380 zone. Okay, look, I talked about this yesterday. I said that I need to see a drop, and I need to see the pair staying below it. Well, we didn't stay. We did see a drop, but we didn't stay. So once again, I'm going to apply the same logic. If we do drop and stay below the 1.3380 zone, I'll lean towards lower levels. For the upside, I need to see a push above the 1.3417 area, and then we'll go from there. GBPUSD. This one is yes. Oh, by the way, of course with the USDCAD, keep your eyes today on the Canadian CPIs. Those are yes. I mean that could put some volatility here on this pair. GBPUSD. GBPUSD is GBPUSD is retracing. It's retracing, and we are watching this carefully because look, I talked about this before, and then this was my scenario. I mean, so far it seems like it's kind of it worked out partially. We reached my 1.28 zone, but I was aiming for that 1.30 zone. But that's probably, if we do again rebound from this upside line, then maybe then we could go higher. But I think at this point, if you're looking for some reassurance, maybe a push above the 1.28 zone could do the trick, because a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed, and then we will aim for that 1.29 zone. If we do break this upside line, then certainly there is a greater chance of seeing a bit of a retracement here towards the 1.25 territory, and then we'll go from there. GBPJPY. So beautiful rebound. Yes, of course. I talked about this recently. I said to you, look, for me to go lower, I need to see a drop below the 200-day EMA. If I can get that, wonderful, great. I will go lower. In terms of the upside, well, a break of this downside line is required, which is drawn from the high of the 27th of November, but also a push above the 100-day EMA could do the trick here for a few more buyers. So yeah, that's the game plan here for me on this pair. I mean, currently we're getting a hold up near this downside line, which is logical, which is all fine. But if this remains above this 100-day EMA, then yes, I will go higher. But first, of course, we need to break up this downside line. EURNZD, jumping into that one. This one's quite interesting. Look, yesterday I threw out an idea here that in order for us to go lower, we need to see a break of this 1.7464 territory, and then yes, we could see more downside. At the moment, we're seeing a bouncing around moment here, so we're not really doing much with this. We're just observing the price action. And if we do clear this 1.7740 territory here on the upside, we might also clear the 200-day EMA, and this may attract a few more buyers into the game, leading to a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget that we're still below this downside line drawn from the high of the 21st of August. In terms of the downside, yes, I just said it's this one right here, the 1.7463 territory, roughly around there, guys. And then we'll go from there. EURJPY, another JPY pair, because again, I'm looking at those. I'm looking at JPY because we had the last interest rate decision this year from the BoJ, so we will be carefully monitoring the one and going into next year. So yes, we're seeing some weakness here. We broke the downside line. We reached my target, almost, I would say, but I'll take that. It's a good result. 1.5768. I talked about this. So now what's next? Next is basically a push above the 157 point. Look, for the upside actually here, I would like to see a push above that nice, beautiful 157.7 territory, just for that, extra cautiousness. If we do push above that, then yes, great. I will go higher, especially if we do clear the remaining EMAs here on my daily chart. And finally, EURUSD. So yes. Oh, by the way, in terms of downside on the EURJPY, I need to see a break move back below the 154.37 territory right here, and then we'll go from there. This is what, by the way, this is what I talked about yesterday in my morning video. I picked up on this, so so it worked out nicely, I would say. EURUSD. Let's see that one. So far so good. This 1.0888 territory is providing fantastic fantastic support. So if you're looking for some lower levels, then yes, a drop below this hurdle is required at least. Then look, my arrow here is drawn all the way to this 1.0756 zone, somewhere around here, but actually I will initially aim for this one, the 1.0831. I know it's very close. It's only about 50 pips here away. But if by any chance we have an upside line, which is this one, and it provides support, well, guys, I mean, maybe, you know, that actually could be a nice, good level. So that's why, let's put it this way, this, you know, this is how it should go. So initially it will be aiming for this territory, and then if that gets cleared, then yes, of course, much lower levels here could be met, so something like that. But let's not rush into things. So yeah, guys, just a quick update on what's happening with the U.S. Treasury, U.S. bonds here, the yields. Yeah, there continues to slide. It seems like if we apply technical analysis on this, then it seems like we are willing to go further south, especially if we do break below the current lowest point of December, near the 3.88% here. We clear that one. Well, guess what? Lower levels here could be met because a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. And if we do apply technical analysis on this, guys, then, well, the next target here could be this 3.73 level. And then we'll just go from there. So that's the game plan. That's the situation here. Look, I hope you found this useful. It was I tried to be quick because, again, a lot of things remain the same because we do have the main events coming at these in the second half of this week. But of course, if you're trading something European and Canadian, keep your eyes on the news today, guys. We do have European and Canadian CPIs coming out. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your rocket ships, your comments, everything. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. I hope you'll join me tomorrow morning, just to let you know that I'm still going to continue running these sessions all the way to Friday. And then, yes, I mean, I'll be back on the 28th. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Join me, like I said, tomorrow. Join me Thursday and join me Friday. And, you know, we'll have a look at the markets and try to see how the year could end. So thank you very much, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock GMT time. Bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video? We speculate your next mass movement will be towards the subscribe button.